this is a symphonic gong. All gongs are different, even if they look the same. They're all like very unique with many, many, many tones, worlds of vibration to explore. These are Persian. Made in Mali.
Wow.
Gourds, wood, rope, metal.
Hi, I'm Dexter Story, and really happy to be here with Carlos Niño. We are old friends, and we've recorded a lot together and done a lot of music together, and I'm just so honored. You know, my career started as, you know, playing piano and playing guitar at home, you know, and starting to expand from there, you know, getting more and more instruments, playing in bands, and, you know, working my way through grade school to college, and now I'm in fact in a PhD program for ethnomusicology. And yeah, I live in libraries, so I mean, it's really honored. I'm an honored to talk about them. You know, there's sacred spaces. If there's anything, you know, any, let's say, edifice that's gotten it right in our society, I think it's a library. And you know, it's a safe haven. It's you know, it's just the go-to destination for me now in my work, but for a lot of people.
Carlos, you used to work in a library. Tell us about that.
That's right, yeah. The first real job I had in high school, I got just after the 94 earthquake in Northridge, which is nearby here. And a lot of things closed down, a lot of things were in flux. It was a pretty wild time. And I remember getting a library job, and as soon as the library reopened after being closed around the time of the earthquake, I worked there for about a year and a half, and I feel like I spent all of my money on gas getting me to Aaron's Records to buy records.
Music, to many people, is more than just entertainment. It has more dimensions. For example, a lot of music can be educational. Tell me about your experience with music in that regard.
Music has informed me in every aspect of my life, spiritually, emotionally, mentally. It's actually gotten me to the library. So like if I grew up listening to Chuck D and he's talking about Marcus Garvey in a song, I remember going immediately to the encyclopedia that we had, and there was a little blurb or a couple pages on Marcus Garvey, and then I had to go find a biography of Marcus Garvey because I was so compelled by his voice. And I might have been like 10 years old, and there was nobody around me at that time who was encouraging me to check out Marcus Garvey, but they might have said that they knew who he was. Like my dad, of course, knew who he was, but it wasn't like it was already in my, you know, environment. There's nothing that you couldn't potentially learn from music.
Yeah, it's such an important spectrum, you know, of vibration, you know, frequency, and it carries information, it carries history, carries symbols and meaning, and you know, identity for people. It's got so many. It's just such a broad range of possibility.
So the public library in Los Angeles provides access to a couple of your records on our music streaming service Freegal. One's called Aquarius and one's called What's the Science?
Nice.
Tell us a little bit about those records.
Those are both older records. Dexter's on both of them. We got to get Freegal to have all of the music that we've made and all of our friends have made because there's a lot. And so I'm going to call all the people involved in my releases and tell them to connect with Freegal. I love the idea of it. But yeah, Aquarius with 7 S's was a Carlos Niño and Friends record. It starts off with a beautiful piece called Mesame that is pretty beloved in my catalog. It's a duet with Miguel Atwood Ferguson, who
Shout out Miguel, yeah.
Dexter and I collaborate with often. And that record to me is sort of epitomized by that song, Mesame, which means awakening in Japanese. And yeah, it's a pretty experimental record. I think it holds up fairly well. I like about 70% of it still.
You're an Aquarius.
Very much. We all are. You are too.
Are you really?
The man behind the camera, this librarian right here, Aquarius. Aquarius.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another aspect of music that goes beyond entertainment value is that can be a force for positive change, personally, politically. How does that speak to you? And are there any musicians that you think fall into that category?
Yeah, the first ones that are coming to my mind are friends of ours like Saul Williams and Georgia Ann Muldrow, and I don't know. I mean, it's I feel like in a way everyone is involved in that change by expressing themselves. The music that's been most politically charged for me is mostly from my youth, and it's people like Chuck D, especially. Public Enemy is just a huge one. The Bomb Squad, even the way that they were presenting, reimagining the music of, say, James Brown, who was a serious activist, and George Clinton, who was like one of the most free, colorful, like sort of expansive artists ever. So you're getting all of that information, then you're getting like deep messages which were really like from the influence of Malcolm X, and yeah, I mean that's been the biggest one for me, like early, but I mean it's really everywhere, because now I'm thinking about Milton Nascimento, and I'm thinking about people from all over the world, from anywhere in the world they might be, who are reporting, and it is entertaining too, and it's not supposed to be like really, like that's an amazing thing. Like, you know who just came to mind when I thought about that is Thomas Mapfumo. But Thomas Mapfumo is like a renegade, like a front lines revolutionary activist from Zimbabwe, whose whole genre of music will make you dance. Like you will feel the movement, and yet all of the songs, I feel like all of them are politically oriented.
Yeah.
Every single one.
Well, music seems to always be linked with social movements. I mean, protest music, you know, everything that Carlos is saying is, you know, even when the artist is not a revolutionary, music accompanies, you know, those change, you know, and, you know, you look at anything that's happening whether in the U.S. or all over the world, you know, the people gather to protest. First thing they'll do is sing a song or clap their hands to something, even when they're just saying a phrase, you know, a phrase for social movement. It'll be in a melody or some type of cadence, you know. So music it just embodies so much for people.
So I know another important aspect of music for you is that it's important for healing and spiritual uplift, and I know you work with a lot of musicians like that. How does music speak to you in that way?
It speaks to me totally in that way, especially in relation to the term you use, spiritually uplifting. For me, that's the point of our lives here, is to be spiritually uplifted. And if we do have things we need to heal from, the healing is to ultimately be well, and that from that wellness you can expand into a spiritually uplifted state, a light body state, a state where we're experiencing like real paradise, bliss, rapture, magic in the moment here on this planet. Not only can we get through all of the chaos and insanity and violence within humanity on the planet right now, but we can ascend into like a very special realization of our potential, and to me immediately, like
music is, you know, has always been linked with spirituality, you know, from, you know, the harp, you know, of David to, you know, Gregorian chant to, you know, the music of liturgy, you know, to, you know, just music is always linked to, has always carried the word, I'll say. You know, it always carries the word. And, yeah.